Hi, this is Whishup, and actually, it's noisy here. There are leaf blowers and motorcycles, but I kind of don't care. I just felt like doing a reading. I actually heard from someone last night. You know who you are if you're seeing this reading, and it made me want to do a reading for the spooky season. So last night was Halloween. Now it's All Souls Day, so it's really a 3-day holiday that takes place in lots of different cultures. Anyway, I'm going to do a super specific Loteria reading. I don't think I've read Loteria cards on here too much. I think they're fantastic, and I've spent a little while kind of learning their patterns and their schemes and the different ways that you can use them to narrow down times and movements and degrees of things. So anyway, this may apply, this may not apply, because like I say, Loteria can be very specific, which is one of its great qualities, like Lenormand, but it also means if it's off, it's kind of way off. But anyway, here we go. You have got 1, 2, and 3. I use Loteria in 2 cards where this card modifies this card. So that's how I do them. Pick one. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, you're going to show up again, aren't you? These are the ones that showed up for me this morning. El Apache and La Sandia. So El Apache is an Indian who looks more like a Mesoamerican Indian than an Apache. These cards were made in the late 19th century. They've got some things in them that are anachronistic, some things that people really hate in the original cards, so they've made new ones. I respect and understand all of it. This is the card deck that I first came in contact with. It's the one I read. But anyway, here we go. So this is not a real Apache, but for purposes of this deck, it represents something sacred, something surprising, something that comes in and says, well, here I am, check me out. So something that is bold and independent. I usually think of this as a very kind of a rabble-rousing kind of a figure. And then we've got La Sandia, which is sweet. And the yellow in the background tells me there's action to be taken. There's some sweet action to be taken, but you want to be cautious with La Sandia because you will get a stomach ache if you have too much of this sweet stuff. But because we are encouraged to take sweet action, it may be that there is some, it could be sacred or metaphysical or just somewhat revolutionary idea that you have, or person with an idea who's come into your world. And you're encouraged to, I think, kind of go on with it and enjoy the sweetness of it. You know, take a ride, like enjoy the roller coaster. I think that's kind of the message here. And it's something quite of the now. It's right in front of you. It's standing in front of you. It's not necessarily threatening, but it's perfectly able to take care of itself. So you can either join or not join. That's absolutely your call. But it looks like if you do, it's going to be a sweet ride. So there you go. That's that. La Chalupa. La Muerte. Oh my goodness, these cards. Okay. La Chalupa is another one of these blessed cards in the deck as I see them. There are a few that have these sort of spiritual overtones. La Muerte obviously can, but in this deck a lot of times it means something that's bringing the hammer down, or something that's coming to an end, or something that is bringing a stop to something. But in this case, we have La Chalupa, which is the main subject. And this is a card of abundance. You know, she's bringing her little boat along the shore, and it's full of everything. It's full of food, it's full of flowers. She looks happy. The water is calm. This is, I think of it almost like the Empress card in the tarot, if you think of them that way. So she has everything. She has everything she needs. She has everything she wants. And it's a scene of good cheer. And it's just like happy days. So you could see La Muerte modifying this as the end of happy days, supposedly, kind of, and a card of caution and warning. But I also think because I felt so compelled to do this, these are, I know how to say this, the happy days of death, if you will. So, as you have probably heard before, the veil is thin during these times. These are times when you may be thinking about people you've lost in your life. You may be thinking about ancestors. You may be visiting memorial sites or considering them. And this is a time when those considerations of the dead bring abundance. If you haven't gotten in touch with the great majority, as we can call them, it's a time when you can do it, and it can be friendly and fun, and you can gain great blessings and wisdom from it. And I feel like that's what's going on here. So this is a great time to get in touch with anyone who you have known in your life who may have passed away. And you just send them, all you have to do is send them a good wish. You don't have to do anything more dramatic than that. Of course you can if you light them a candle, if you put out a little offering for them of any kind, if you buy them a flower, anything like that. You could write them a sweet little note and, you know, put it under a candle. Anything like that is going to be appreciated. Anything like that is giving them coins for travel. Anyway, aside from that, let me get on to number 3 before this goes too long. El Soldado and El Músico. Okay, all right. So this is interesting too. Okay, El Soldado is the soldier. These cards came out and were given to soldiers in the War of Mexican Independence. They carried them with them and played with them basically during their off time. So you have cards that have to do with those concepts in this deck. Anyway, but El Músico always occurs to me as someone who's getting ready, like well-dressed, well-prepared, got music, got the instrument, well-dressed, but standing at the door, standing at the threshold, and we're sort of wondering, is this person ready for the big performance? El Soldado is a kind of duty, right? It's a uniform, it's a duty, it's a job that you do. It can be a bit of a 24/7 kind of thing, right? Because you're not really off duty. So when I see it with El Músico, it sort of says, are you ready to take on a new identity, a new uniform, a new duty? Are you ready for that? Are you nervous about it? Are you prepared for it? And I don't know what the answer will be for you. I'm thinking about what the answer might be for me. But what I can say here as I look at the cards overall is there is something very sweet on offer, but it's something new. It's something a little strange. It's something a little unusual, but it's very abundant. And if you go for it, it's a long-term, we could say long-term commitment, you know, like you sign up for your service. But it's also a service that comes with lots of sweetness, lots of abundance, lots of goodies. So you see what you think about this. And of course, let me know in the comments if you like. Loteria cards if you dislike them, if you would like to see more of them, or like to know different things about the way I read them. At least I know other people read them slightly differently, but I have a scheme or a method to my madness, and I'm happy to share more about it if you're interested. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Please enjoy the spooky season because it looks like something quite interesting is presenting itself to you and saying, are you ready to jump in? Are you ready for the sweetness and the service, so to speak? Because it doesn't look like it's just a one-time thing. It looks like something that could have some lasting power. So, okay, I guess that's it for now. Until next time, rock on with your bad selves.